You know, you can say whatever you want, but I think deep down it's every man's dream on a Friday night to just drag home a dirty old Cougar. And so that's what I did. What'd you guys think I was talking about? So this right here is a 1996 Mercury Cougar XR7. I have absolutely no idea what XR7 means, but it does sound pretty cool. The interior is pretty rough on this thing, as usual. You know, the mold. The headliner is hanging down. Looks like Freddy Krueger went to slashing at it, or maybe Wolverine was sitting over there. I don't know. But she is pretty fancy. I mean, I know she's a coupe, but she's got some long doors for a coupe. I don't even know if the camera does it justice. They're just like way out here. It's about probably twice as long as the doors on this Explorer over here. The interior is pretty bare bones. Enough money to clean it, but was never used, obviously. It's corroded pretty badly. Spider webs out the wazoo, and some orange juice. I don't know if that's water or if that... Okay, so jug of antifreeze. Looks like there's another jug in there. All right, this thing's already it's already a win right here. All right, coming around to the front of the car. It's over here. There you go. Coming around the front of the car, we've got the safe and reliable low power 3.8. It's fuel injected. Look, not every car can be carbureted. In fact, most of the cars on this channel aren't carbureted. It's all early fuel injection. But this is more modern. This is a 96. This is actually a first year OBD2 car. So we could use one of them fancy code scanners to tell me which engine or which check engine light means what. Oh, it's got a misfire code. Well, thankfully we've got the technology to know which cylinder has a misfire, because there's no other way to tell without your fancy code reader. Did I tell you guys some company tried to like send me out a code reader scan tool to do like a video review on? And first of all, I don't really do video reviews. It's not, I'm not a tool rating channel. Send it to, you know, Project Farm or something. I don't know. But second of all, it's like, when have I ever used a code reader on this channel? I have maybe like 4 cars in total that could use one. Make it make sense. All in all, though, this is probably one of the cleanest engine bays ever featured on the channel. And I haven't even pressure washed it. We've got some custom hose work back here, the nice blue. That kind of lets you know that it's a race car. And they've actually still got the factory intake, which is good. Belt seems fine. It's got a nice twang to it. I don't know if the camera picks that up, but you know, you could play a tune on that if you ever get bored. What do we have as far as coolant? It's actually wet. It's empty, it feels like, or, well, it's not empty, it's, you know, just low, but there's no rust, and I mean, it's moisture in there, so that's a good sign. What about the oil? The oil is, I don't know if it'll focus. The oil's pretty black. It smells really bad, like gasoline, but other than that, I mean, it's It's a decent level. It doesn't look like water or anything's in it. Transmission fluid. You know, it's not running or anything, but transmission fluid's nice and pink. I'm only worried about the level, you know, if I start driving it and it acts weird, or if it's, you know, completely bone dry. Everything just looks complete under here. I'm not really seeing anything that I'm worried about. Yeah, even the brake fluid looks good. Oh yeah, the reservoir over here, it's full over here, and it's actually there's actually green coolant in there. So that's I don't like this. This is too nice for the channel. Now you see me kind of like rolling through a little bit more of the checks and investigations before, you know, just you know, I'm not just like firing this one up right away, because truth be told, this is not actually my car. This is technically my wife's car, which I guess makes it also my car, but this is my wife's car. And the story on this car actually is pretty interesting. So this car was originally purchased by my wife's grandmother. I don't know if it was like 4 when she was born, but it was at the same time. It was purchased brand new around the time my wife was born. And this was her grandmother's car. It was, you know, if I remember correctly, this is the car that my wife came home from the hospital in. I don't know 100%. But after my wife's grandmother passed away, this car actually changed hands a few times. I think 4 separate owners, and eventually just kind of got parked and left to sit. And my wife was actually the one who went and got it back. And it's kind of just been something she's wanted back on the road for a long time. So that's what we're going to do today. I mean, it's not a special car. It's not a super fancy car. I mean, there's a lot of people that love the Cougars, and I think the Cougars are fantastic. But, you know, it's just a 90s kind of beater, pretty much. And but it is sentimental, and I would like to have it running and driving in good shape to where, you know, my wife can take it wherever she wants. And now it's time for everybody's favorite segment of the show, the battery of questionable origins that I found in the corner of the old warehouse, I think. I don't know. It's date coded for 24 though, so it should be good. We'll see. I put it on the floor of my shop though for a reason, so, you know, we'll find out why it was there. This is not the right battery to fit over here, but we'll make it fit. You go there and you just tuck around. Just go here. Nothing exploded. Nothing's making a connection either. We'll have to run it upside down. What else did I do that on? The Blazer? Alright. Coming around to the interior of the car. If you ever find yourself in possession of one of these Cougars or the Thunderbirds or whatever 90s Ford Mercury junk, you ain't got keys. It's real simple. You just yank this. You just yank the ignition switch out of the column over here, and now this is how you just have it hanging down here. That's your key. So this is you know, your off position. This is your accessory power. Bring it up. That's your run, and I heard the fuel pump, so yay, let's work for me. And then to crank it, you just okay. Well, all right. So So this car hasn't been started in almost 5 years, I think. And it just started better than half of the cars I own. So, will it run? Yeah. All right, see you guys next episode, next video. You guys like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you next time. No, but she is running pretty rough. But she is running. Well, let's, I guess, see if she's running and driving. I didn't get to do my usual pre-flight TSA checklist, so, you know, the FAA is going to be mad at me. I'd really like gloves in here. This is disgusting. But we're men. Will it drive? Because we already know the answer to will it run. Also, I forgot to mention, it's got 109,000 miles. And that's probably the lowest mileage vehicle in my yard. It's got a quarter tank of gas. It's charging fine. Temp hasn't come up yet. Oil pressure's good. Throttle feels responsive. It's idling kind of poor and shaky, but I'm sure it's just been sitting. I'm not worried about that. Let's see what it does. It just takes off. At like 10 o'clock at night last night, I decided I wanted to start washing the Mercedes. I don't understand what my brain does. I wanted to wash the Mercedes at like 10 o'clock at night last night. And it's in the way now. And I've only cleaned most of one side of it. So it should run though. It still runs pretty good. It's just, it's covered in ants again. You full of ants? I hope not. All right. No ants on the driver's side, so we're good. Back under the hood. I should really continue fixing this thing. I have that weird thing where I don't really want to fix anything of any kind of like significance without it being on camera, and I don't want to just make like a TikTok for fixing little things, and I'm like, well, I'll just do a whole nother video on the car. And then nothing ever gets done. What now? This ain't your will it run. You act right. What are you doing? It's not your turn for a video, and if you keep interrupting me, you won't get another one. You'll get crushed. All right, now back to the star of the show. And my neighbors decided now is a perfect time to be cutting grass, so, that's a lot of spiders. Okay. Yeah, this is good. This thing's misfired so hard, it's just, it's like it got a hollow cam in it. Not bad. Time for everybody's favorite segment. First wash in years. Oh, can't believe, gotta make it a clickbait YouTube video. Bow! First Well, you won't believe unbelieving detail that cars off clickbait. Wash the dirt off. I'm washing the car. A lot of this just kind of seems like it's going to run right off. This thing will clean up really nicely, actually. Give it a quick rinse down. And I don't know what I'm doing, because I'm not a savage anymore. I actually have technology. My wife wasn't exactly thrilled about the bit I did the last time I used the pressure washer, where I used my kids' bubbles as the soap. So I bought actual car wash soap now, so, get the hands on. I really do think the gazillion bubbles cleaned better than the great value Walmart cheapest soap money can buy. But, I'm not spending that much money on soap. Honestly, though, after the hit with the pressure washer, this is actually doing pretty good. Still trying to learn all the hip YouTuber stuff, the lingo and whatnot. Apparently, you guys can hype the video now. I don't know what that does, but allegedly it's good. So if y'all want to hype the video, or if you don't know how to do that, because I haven't really figured it out, it just kind of works on some videos and doesn't. If y'all want to hype the video, if not, leave a like, and that helps get the videos like shared with more people, so I can continue making more videos. And man, this thing is gonna look nice. Like it's kind of tore up a little bit. She's got some dings, dents, some body damage, but I mean, the paint where it's not, dented in or anything, the paint is actually it's actually in really good shape. And maybe it's because it's, a low miles car, but I don't think this thing was ever really garage kept except for when I was keeping it in that warehouse. Pretty sure this thing sat outside its entire life. All right, so that's probably the shiniest she's looked in a long time. It's not perfect, but washed off, you can definitely tell the imperfections. The paint's not as good as I thought. Spots that were like tiny little rock chips, the pressure washer just took them off, but realistically, you're kind of better off that way. The more loose paint you can get off, the better it is for repainting. You got the bulk of the body damage is right here. I believe the story on that goes they hit a deer and surprisingly didn't even put a crack in the windshield. So, that's not bad. Some more denting along this side here, and this mirror is busted out. Back here, a bunch more of the paint chipped off right behind the third brake light. And then I've got this stuff right here. This is just, I don't even know if this is just where the paint has faded down to the primer, but it won't come off. It doesn't have any kind of texture. It's like that on the roof a little bit too. It could be where, the paint's just baked off. And then same thing back here in this fiberglass or plastic, whatever the rear bumper is. I think it's actually plastic. It's cracked, spider-webbed, and that stuff's just embedded in there. But overall, I mean, it looks a ton better now. And that's like the first real thing about fixing a car. If you get it clean, you'll be a lot more motivated to fixing it up. All right, outside's the first half of the battle. Also, this door handle is kind of held together with tape, and the tape had, all right, I just splashed. It's filthy again. Time to, honestly, it's time for this to hit the crusher. Yep, it's ruined now. The interior is Absolutely disgusting, but not as bad as the BMW was, so we can definitely work with that. I think this needs to just go. Yep, and the steering wheel is actually in great shape. So, preventative steering wheel cover. This is disgusting. So, yeah. Get a jump on getting everything out of here. Oh, got some Deer Park water. Do you think that still tastes good? Never had water smell like feet. That's a new one. Actually, I should sell that to like Dan Schneider or Quentin Tarantino. I'd make some money. Foot water. All right, so now that I've pulled a basically full bag of trash out of the interior, the Febreze that I found in the trunk of the Mercedes is, I'm just gonna empty the whole can in here. I kind of wish they made like Febreze grenades. You could just like throw it in, close the doors. And you know what? Actually, they probably do. Like, not necessarily grenades, but like the foggers. They probably cost more than free, though. So I'm going to spray all this down. And then I'm going to hit this with the shop vac. And a bunch of just interior detailer stuff. I'm just going to empty this can. You guys like the shirt you guys see? You could have this shirt. What was it, the Irishman? You like steak? I deliver you steak. Good steak. You like shirts? You could have this shirt. This shirt right here and this hat. It could all be yours at LeflerMerch.com. I make like 5% off all the sales on the website or something like that. 3 or 5. I can't remember. Every time you buy a shirt, I get a couple of dollars. It helps fund the channel. So, you know, you ain't got to, but if you want to look this cool, by all means. All right. Here's just a closer look on the inside in here. It's really, like, it's not great, but it's not terrible. It's just gross. That headliner's real bad. The cleanest part of the car is actually the steering wheel that was covered by the steering wheel cover. But the interior seems to be all complete. So, I don't know. There's actually a lot of hope for making this a pretty nice. I can get it cleaned up. This could be my wife's daily driver. For right now, she's driving that green Explorer that's parked behind the black Explorer over there with the roof rack. I don't know if you can see. You can kind of see the roof rack over there. So she could go have this as her daily. She doesn't like driving the IS350, and I don't either. You guys want to buy that car? A real quick pass with one of these Armor All cleaning wipes will tell me about how much work I'm going to have to put in on the whole interior. If the stuff just wipes off, it's usually pretty easy. If it's kind of stuck on there, okay. If it's kind of stuck on there, it'll be more work. So let's just hope it kind of just wipes off. And you know, actually that doesn't seem like it's having too much of an issue. Yeah. A lot of this is like cigarette ash too. Like there's mold in here. But it's mostly, especially around these windows, just cigarette ash. Down here is more of your mold. I'll grab another one of these. Okay. I'll grab the rest of these. Yeah, this is actually, no, this is gonna clean up super easy actually. All right. I'm gonna spend about 30-45 minutes wiping everything down, and I'll run the shop vac in here and then I'll get back to you guys. This isn't a detailing channel. I know you guys don't really care to see the detail. You guys want to see the meat and the bones and the duct tape and the zip ties and the discombobulation. That is a beautiful K5 Blazer that just drove by. I wish you guys could have seen that. That was gorgeous. Well, time to find out where they live and see if they want to sell it. All right, that's not perfect by any means, but that is infinitely better. And it actually smells pretty clean in here. And look at that, you can actually read what gear you're in now. This needs to be replaced, but I mean, that all looks pretty good. Look at this guy right here. And look at this, Pikachu. Let's see if it starts still. Hear the fuel pump? I mean, she still idles kind of rough. Look at that, 109,000 miles. Let's get that hood popped. I always forget because it's like off in front of the passenger side headlight. And then you pull it. Which way do you pull it? I've done this like 3 times already. I should know. Pull it that way. What, these don't work no more? Okay. A ton of vibration and like a weird clunking noise that I don't really care about. We'll find something to hold the hood up with. There we go. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but it is shaking pretty hard. Definitely needs motor mounts. I don't know if it's misfiring or anything. I don't think there's a check engine light on. Sounds terrible. No check engine light, but that could also just be no bulb. But because it's a fancy 1996, that means I can put one of them Coda rectifiers on it. Like a nerd. It definitely, oh, you can smell gas out of it too. You know what I should do? I thought I had 5 gallons of non-ethanol laying around. I don't. I have like 1.5 gallons. I also have a can of Seafoam. So we're gonna put a liquid snake, what is it called? Snake oil. We're gonna put some snake oil in there because this gas is 5 years old. So I mean, that could be part of our issue. And then, like I said, I got about 1.5 gallons of ethanol free, just pressure washer gas. So it's what we'll use. The fun police say not to pump gas while the car's running, but it really doesn't matter. Look, I'm also talking on my cell phone. Alright, maybe that'll work in and let her eat a little bit. It started wanting to smooth out a little, and then it'll stumble a little bit, and then it'll smooth right back out. I want to see. Alright. We're at 14.3, so we're charging. So I'm not worried too much about letting this run for a minute. I don't know why Ford put this little cover over the throttle, but there's a bunch of smoke out the rear end. It's just unburnt fuel. It's not like a head gasket or nothing, but She definitely doesn't sound like she's running on all 6. All right, now here comes the Walmart Lube Tech tools. And the OBD2 port on this car is on the passenger side for some reason, so I've got one of these little Bluetooth scanners that connects to my phone, and I got it for free with the IS350. The guy just left it in there. The company is called Fix, like F-I-X-D, and the code reader itself is nice, but they are shady. Like, they want you to pay like 90 bucks a year, constant pop-ups, you know, trying to weasel money out of you to use their code reader. And then the app is annoying, but it works. And in my daily driver, the cats are bad, and whenever the code is on for the cats, the traction control's off. So if it's raining, I like to be able to use this to just cut the code off and have my traction control back, because for some reason emissions are important. It's not, they don't affect the fuel trims at all. The cats are just emissions, but it's still, any check engine light on like an old Toyota or Lexus will cut the traction control off, and it's annoying. They want you to put the VIN number in on this, but you don't have to. You just put whatever in. So, and the cool thing about this is I don't need to be in the car, so I can give you guys a little show. It'll scan my codes. I think it's clear that I'm not sponsored by them. I think they make an okay Bluetooth code reader. Their app sucks, and everything else is ridiculous, but you know, no problems detected. That's good. So nothing's wrong with the car at all. That's what you love about OBD2. And so some lube tech at Walmart to check your codes. If you're an old lady and you don't know nothing about cars, and your husband's passed away and he's the one that took care of everything, well, you're going to take this down to some, you know, $15 an hour kid at Walmart who's not going to tighten your lug nuts, and he'll forget to put oil in your car, and he'll also tell you there's nothing wrong with your car. So I figured I'd show that. But yeah, so now you have to do actual mechanic work. We go check in the light down. So the first thing I'm going to do is never trust a Ford gauge, especially from the 90s. It says it's running at all right temp. I'm just going to check the temp myself. We're at 180 on the water pump. $150, $150, $140 on the radiator. I don't know if there's anything moving through the fluid or through the heater core. About $170 on the heater core, so temps are all right. So that's about what it's showing on the gauge. As far as mechanical side of things, you know, you're looking at bad gas most likely, but it could also be, you know, just fuel delivery issues. And I don't have a pressure gauge, so an easy way to tell is if it's not getting enough gas to run consistently, just unplug your mass airflow sensor. And when you unplug your mass airflow sensor, it's going to default to a richer tune, because a richer tune's not going to hurt the car like a leaner tune will. So manufacturers, if they can't tell your airflow, they're just going to make the car run richer. So this will probably shut the car off if the mass airflow sensor is working. And it didn't. So still doing its thing. Let's try giving it a few more of the beans. I really think we just got some real bad gas. Let me pull you guys around to the back. I don't know if you guys can see the black spot, the soot that has come out of this. I'm gonna rev it up a few times and let you guys see the crud that comes out. Yum, yum. All right, I think what I'll do now is I think I'm just gonna take this thing on the road, try and blow the cobwebs out of it. Like I said, I think we just have some really bad gas as a seat. Power seats that don't work. Yeah. All right, windows don't work. Glad I cleaned it first. Should I put a seatbelt on? Probably. That's what the government would want me to do. And now that they've got those spy cameras, oh, look at that. The oil pressure goes crazy when it does that. It doesn't sound good. Ooh. I mean, the oil pressure just goes nuts when it's doing that. But it could also be because it's like about to stall out constantly. We'll see if just giving it some beans will help it. Maybe it's could have clogged cat. But I really think it's just a lot of bad gas. Oh, the brakes aren't great either. No, don't hit my marker. Don't go into my ditch. Let's see here. Ooh, one of them tires sounds really bad. Did I check the air pressure on the tires? I don't think I did. It is scorching hot in here. Just driving down the road, it kind of feels fine. It feels like nothing's wrong with it at all. You know, I really do think it's just bad gas, or because the mass airflow sensor didn't do anything when I unplugged it. The mass airflow sensor is more than likely bad. I don't know, we're in a bit of a situation because it acts perfectly fine under the slightest bit of throttle. I could probably adjust the throttle linkage to give it a little more at idle, but it's slow idle. I'm sure it's got tons of vacuum leaks. You know, you just get back to your basics. Fuel, air. You can't adjust the timing on this. Aha, okay. Never mind, guys. I thought it was 109,000 miles, but I should have known. It's a 90s Ford. Notice how the trip odometer is at 0. Yeah, it's not 109,000 miles. That's just where the little plastic gear broke. So on 90s Fords, they have a little plastic gear that runs the odometer. And it gets brittle over time. And what happens is if you press the trip odometer while you're driving, it'll snap. So if you ever see a Ford or Mercury from the 90s and your odometer is lower miles, but the trip odometer is at 0, just assume that happened 10 years ago. So this car's probably closer to 200,000 if I was a betting man. It drives great though. I mean, it just drives just fine. I've never actually been down this road because we just moved. So I have no idea where we're going, but I'll just keep going straight. There's no plates on the car, so that's good. It does have insurance now. I made a short a little while back about how my insurance company dropped me because most of my cars were from the 80s and they decided they didn't want to cover anything 40 years old anymore. So I had to scramble to get insurance on everything again. And this car's had insurance the entire time. You know, just it didn't have plates on it because, you know, it wasn't running. But I kept insurance on everything. But it's got insurance now. So, I don't know. If I get pulled over, I guess I bought this car today and I just left the title and the bill of sale at the house. But I've got insurance on it. Alright, we're at a stop sign here, so I'm a loop her around. She's running fine. The brakes are a little soft. I'll bleed those here in a minute. Give me some wide berth. How's the power steering in this? Oh, she's phenomenal. What if I give it some business on the way back? The suspension is terrible on this car. Can I adjust this mirror? No, the mirror does not work. There's no mirror on that side. Have I mentioned it's like sweltering hot? It's bad. But what's not bad is this Mercury Cougar back on the road for the first time in half a decade. Can you believe it, guys? Alright, I can't give it too much business. There's a guy up here. I mean, even when I just like let off the gas and coast, it's running just fine. I wonder if it's only an issue in park and neutral. I'll have to try that when I get back to the house. Just let it kind of sit in gear and maybe just coast around and see if it behaves that way. Oh, look at that. I want to buy some of those. Oh, see, this is why you drive, fellas. This is why you get out and you drive around, you know, the outside of your town. People that just got nice cars sitting in their yard. I had a guy come in the yard the other day trying to buy the Firebird from me. Yeah, the odometer's definitely broken. Not changed. Says we only have a quarter tank of gas, so if it's a bad gas issue, I can definitely just fill the tank with good gas and clear it out. I haven't looked in that gas tank. You know what I need to get? I need to get one of those, is it borescope? I don't know. The colonoscopy thing, so you can look in your cylinders and look in the gas tank. Recommend me a good one, because I don't have one of those. I don't have any real mechanics tools, and if they don't sell it at Harbor Freight, I usually don't have it. The heat's on. I'm willing to bet the AC does not work. Oh, well, let's turn to... No, nothing comes out of the vents at all. Okay, well, we'll just keep that off. We'll keep it back on heat in case it was wanting to overheat or something. Put it back on defrost. That doesn't work. Got a cassette player, so I could definitely put in some cassettes. It doesn't have a CD player, which is surprising for a 96. Oh, yeah. Look at the bands. My house is starting to look like a used car lot. Oh. Yeah, no, it's in drive. It's still doing that. Just, you know, low RPMs. It's just all over the place. It actually gets a little bit better when it goes into park. Alright, time to play with that some more. Finally got the trunk popped open. I never thought to do it earlier. Definitely evidence of some rodent activity back here in the trunk, but I believe they're long gone. So I need to get that out of here, but the trunk actually looks pretty clean. Free pair of jumper cables, free jack, the missing interior piece, and this probably does not work. Definitely not. Tire repair Yes, sir. Let's go tire repair. Let's do it. What do we got in here? Oh, yeah. That's some tire repair if I ever done seen that. And then this is good. All right. Well, there's your tour of the trunk. It's actually pretty good. I'm surprised the pressure washer got so much of this out of here. Still some. But, yeah. That definitely... Probably shouldn't touch that with my hands. I get the haunted virus. We'll just close. Yeah. I came inside for like 5 minutes, put on some old peg, had some lunch, and in typical Alabama fashion, so I guess I'm done working on that for a little bit, and I'll probably have to get back to it tomorrow. Where did this come from? All it ever does is rain in Alabama. Alright, so I guess my goal for today is going to be figure out why it's running so rich that it's barely running. And my hypothesis is the mass airflow sensor. But, you know, there's other stuff we could play with. It could be a coolant temperature sensor. I don't know how badly it affects like Ford stuff, but I know on GM, 90s GM stuff, that coolant temperature sensor will throw off your fuel trims like crazy and make the car not even, or make car or truck not run at all because it's flooding it out. Obviously you'll check spark plugs, this and that, but I guess I'll start off with doing a not extreme at all oil change. You know, there really is some part of me that thought if I went and closed the door that maybe the rain noise would calm down a little bit. No, it's a metal building with a metal roof. And why can I never remember how to pop the hood on this thing? And yeah, I forgot about that. Let me get a stick or something. Factory Ford hood prop. That go, there we go, and then just gotta bring it around town. Yep. Yeah, that's good. That's good. You know, I guess it actually wouldn't hurt to check the air cleaner and make sure the filter's just not completely bonked on here. No? I mean, the filter's dirty, but that's fine. It's never the easy thing, I'll tell you that. Unless there's just a bunch of stuff in there. I doubt it. Alright, all you cool cats and kittens. I grabbed the wrong socket. Take two, cats and kittens. There we go. That's more like it. Alright. The Hulk changed the oil last time, it appears. Let's see. Well, that's pretty dark. Still got some good lubricity. I always forget to wear gloves when I do this little oil change. Because, you know, that's what you gotta have is gloves. It's probably safe to assume that the oil filter is not hand tight, but, you know, never hurts to look. Can't even get my hand in there. Oh, that's gonna be a nightmare to replace. I'm just gonna go ahead and get the. I can't even get that around there. Hey, L. What now? Why are these? I don't know if these are the wrong, if this is the wrong filter, but I think this is actually the same filter I got at the store that they said was the filter for this. So. There's no room. Ow. Alright. Give me the filter. I want to know who put this on here. And how'd they even get it this tight? Because there's no room to even get around it because of this harness right here. Which I assume is in the incorrect spot. Out of the way. Get out of the way. Whoever put this filter on here last needs to take an anger management class. And then whatever engineer decided to put all this around the filter. Well, I'm imagining them a horse with a broken leg. Am I gonna have to like jam a screwdriver in there? No, because it's just gonna rip the filter apart. Oh, come on. All this wasn't in the way. Never in my life have I struggled with an oil change. Why is all this just up against the filter? I don't feel like all these hoses are supposed to be routed behind the filter. They're probably supposed to be over it, and then they're jammed back here, so now you can't get around the filter. So how did they even get it on this tight? All right, so now that I've punctured the filter, I have to get it off, but I did get it to turn a little, so there is hope. Just gotta mangle this one out of here. Okay. I said this wasn't an extreme oil change. All right, more complicated than necessary oil change. Let's go, come on. Just get out of here. You're just gonna pour everywhere. As someone who works as an engineer, I cannot stand engineers. Automotive engineers. Yeah, I definitely don't think these are supposed to be behind the filter because they make it impossible to get around. I'm gonna have to play with that. Yeah, we'll just put you in your little corner. And, well, actually, I don't know where else those could go. Who else that owns a Cougar? Is this just a terrible design, or is something wrong? I don't know. I'm gonna play with it a little. Maybe these are supposed to be tucked up a little farther or something. I don't know. It's terrible. Terrible, terrible. The underside of the car really doesn't look too bad. I mean, there's oil and dirt, but for the most part, it's clean. The floors look solid, at least from up here. And nothing's like rotted out. You know, you can tell this car's never left Alabama. I don't remember what you're supposed to write on these that all the YouTubers say, so I'm just gonna write 877 cash now, and that's what we're putting on the filter. Yeah, I don't, there's just no room to get around to anything, because I'm a grown man, and life's still a nightmare. Oh, okay, yeah, no, this was just in the way. J.G. Wentworth, 877 cash now. 877 cash now. All right, and what I'm gonna do, kids, is I'm gonna grab a rag to dry off my hands, and then with my dry hands and a rag, I'm gonna hand tighten the filter. That's all you have to do. You don't have to, you know, torque it to 6 million foot-pounds. Yeah, this big wire loom
wasn't supposed to be behind there, or maybe it is, but it is inconvenient for the filter. So I just pulled it forward, and the two little ones I pushed behind it. You got plenty of room to get around here and do what you need to do. So I'm just dumb. Probably. Or I guess the last guy was dumb. I don't know. But they put the force of 1 billion suns on that oil filter, so, you know. The oil she be a-changing. I'll try and never make a video on this car again. I guess you guys hate this one, so this is now going to be a second channel car. I apologize. The oil you use is the most important aspect of the oil change. And so since this calls for 5 quarts of 5W30, I'm going to use this cheap jug of 10W30 that I bought for a truck that I never got and has just been sitting in here. So that makes it free. And I'm going to grab a funnel because I'm going to spill this everywhere. I don't have a funnel in here. We're spilling it. Start off a little slow, fellas. All right, that's everywhere, and that's kind of going in there now. Cool. Why is that at an angle? I don't know. I'm spilling so much of this, it's not even funny. All right, I only spilled like half a quart, so it'll be fine. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and clean off the mass airflow sensor a little bit, and it's like bolted to the inside of the air cleaner box. And I just can't be bothered, so I can get in there, so. Yep. And I can guarantee you, this is the wrong way to do this, so keep that in mind. I've got a mass airflow sensor on order because I'm pretty sure this one doesn't work at all, but just for the fun of it, we'll spray her out. They only made these mass airflow sensors, this specific one. It was on the 96 and 97 Thunderbird LX and the Grand Marquis, or not the Grand Marquis, the Cougar. So of course it's $160 at the parts store, and it's like 70 bucks on Rock Auto. So I'm gonna wait for it to show up, and I'll change that eventually. But just to see if this one's got any life in it, we'll clean it out, and I'll let that dry. It's disgusting on the inside here, but we'll let this dry. Another thing is this is definitely a vacuum leak. This hose is gross, so I'm gonna track down whatever vacuum leaks I can find, and like there's a pretty noticeable one right there. Yeah, it's just cool. So there's 1.5 million vacuum leaks to track down, and I don't know, let's see what it does after that. All right, so I'll just let it be known now that all this thing was one big vacuum leak. Every hose is rotten, everything is ripped. There's wires that were just cut. I tried to patch up as much as I could reasonably do for not going to the store. And so, I don't know. Our decorative mass airflow sensor, I've just got the intake open. I'm gonna run it, try and run some seafoam through there. I mean, and then after that, you know, I'll plug the mass airflow sensor in, see if it makes any kind of difference. I went ahead and opened the door behind me because it's gonna get smoky. Listen to that puppy purr. I need a way to hold the pedal down at $2 grand. So here's a piece of pipe.
And that's going to be my assistant for today. None of the seat adjustment works, so that won't work. The seat won't even fold forward. I'm just going to lay this pipe wrench on the gas pedal until it's got enough pressure. It slipped off. Good help is hard to find. Let's try a little broomstick. All right, I'm not getting an assistant, it seems like, so I'm going to just do it myself. That sounds like $2 grand. It actually is running a little bit smoother now. Thanks again for nothing. All right, so I just went ahead and hooked up the old crusty dusty mass airflow sensor. We'll see if cleaning it made any difference. It's running a little bit better, but there's not really anything else I can kind of do until parts come in, except give it the luxurious treatment. You know, now this will fix all of its issues right here. Bam. Put it on there, air bubbles and oil on my hands and all. Now, you know, it's all of its mechanical problems are fixed and we increased the horsepower. But I guess there's really nothing else to do except give it a test drive, see if it's any better with that. Oh, it's way worse when you plug in the mass airflow sensor. Yeah, that's good. All right, well, let's just see what she does. Oh. Can't ever see right backing out of here. All right, we're going to spin the tires because of the rain to get up this hill. And we're already just spinning tires. Let's go. Oh, don't worry, it's my grass. I can tear it up if I need to. We just got to get a running start. I could just tell people this thing has a cam in it. That's what I think I'll do. Yeah, that's, we're just spinning tires, but we are making slight progress. I just need to put some mud tires on. There we go. All right, now we're on level ground. That's good. And I forgot I made a barricade to get out of the yard, so. My lawn. No, my precious lawn. You know what? We'll just take it back in here. Well, it puked that out as soon as we pulled in here. So, I mean, it's still just dumping gas. And I don't think anything's coming from that. I think it's just stuff dripping off the roof. But I've accomplished nothing other than just tearing up my yard. So that's good. But I guess here's the Cougar. I got to wait for some more parts to come in. Because, you know, everything just takes time. But I'm pretty sure I solve all them vacuum leaks and anything else I find and get that mass airflow sensor. This thing's going to run great. It does run better without the mass airflow sensor. So, you know, it's still having an issue with vacuum leaks and, you know, I don't know. All in all, though, it's cleaned up. It's in much better shape than when we started. And technically, it is drivable. I'm going to put a little bit more care and effort into this one than I do most of the normal projects because this isn't mine. So I'm going to be sure to give it some more love. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. And leave the video a like if you want to see more videos on this. I know you guys don't want to see any more videos on that. So this won't be on the channel anymore. Maybe next time we'll catch back up with the Firebird. I still got to finish getting things organized in here. I've made a lot of progress, but it's still, you know, it's always something to do. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and have a good one.